Well, you record anything from local band demos and singer-songwriters up to full production for European album releases. People like Ollie Brown, Danny Wilde on Roof Records in Germany, where we were lucky enough to work with famous producer Mike Vernon, and just to share the room with that guy for as much time as I did was a big learning process for me. And the great thing is I then, from the things I learnt there, I can actually bring that onto the sessions that I produce as well. It can be a cold environment in the studio, so to create a nice, comfortable, warm environment is paramount, really. And I think the fact that I know what it's like to be the other side of the window as a player, and you know that pressure, I think it's much easier to make people comfortable and actually get the best out of them, because the way I see it, producing, really, the biggest part of producing is to make the artist comfortable and actually get them to perform. The most important thing is the end product, and that's what we're working for all the time, from the first performance through to the mix stage and mastering, all of which processes we can do here. We're lucky enough to have a nice sized control room, which is very comfortable, nice seating area, enough room for the clients with a good visual through to the live room. What we've got is a nice kind of natural ambience in there. We have the baby grand piano. It's a great room for drums. Obviously, being the drummer, it's going to be really important. We have a separate booth where we can put some brass players. We'll use it if we want a smaller sound for a vocal booth. But more often than not, I actually like recording vocals in the room. To me, it just adds just a slightly natural vibe to it, a nice space. I don't think it's nice for singers to be hemmed in a small box. And if they can move, okay, we can put a nice little table out there, get the lighting right, make people comfortable like that, so they can actually perform. I'm very passionate about the equipment and the way we record here. We're lucky enough to have a rain dirt desk designed by Cyril Jones. This actual desk came from Ronnie Scott's, and thank God it's here now. It's a great sound, and I do feel strongly that even in this digital age, when there's a lot of equipment where you get these small digital desks and that, although they're good, I still prefer the big beefy musical analog warm sound of actually going through separate tracks, separate channels, and analog summing, which is what we do here. So it's a kind of hybrid, because obviously we're recording onto Cubase, so the conversion needs to be very high quality. We use Gen X converters for that, and it's important that we use a lot of outboard gear as well. Valve compressors, solid state stuff, a mixture of different things and different EQs, things like Lexicon reverbs, classics like PCM 70. We've got all those here, and we're looking for that depth and that width and that natural sonic look that we hear so much on the classic albums from the 60s, 70s, when things sounded really natural and big and warm. And trying to avoid that kind of slightly sterile, full-on digital sound that can be around today. Although people get used to that, I think there's still a lot of people. I hope there's a lot of people out there that still care enough for that original sound and impact that really delivers that emotion. It's not you can't do a great job with kind of lesser equipment. It's not that. There's some very clever people around that can do that, but it's also a time factor, and the better the equipment is, I think you can get to that end process and that record, if you like, a lot quicker and a lot simpler. We're purposely situated not far outside London, just a small place called Hurst. One, it's cheaper, and two, there aren't the kind of parking restrictions. We've got plenty of parking, so there's not that stress, which is really important, that people aren't stressed that when they turn up for the session, first thing in the morning, they're nice and fresh, coffee, and we like our coffee, and it's got to be real, and we've got a decent coffee machine to start the day like that and energise for a full day's work.